Hi, folks. It's Toby again, and this is AskToby. Um, Happy Thursday. I want to talk to you because of the video that's been going around the internet about the almost death of the lieutenant who was pulled over for a traffic light violation and held at gunpoint and sprayed with pepper spray from his car. And then just in the same breath, the gentleman in Minnesota, just a few blocks from where George Floyd was assassinated, who was also killed at 20 years old because the police officer thought he was using his taser gun when he murdered him. And so I want to talk about leading while white. You know, we talk about driving while Black and walking while Black and everything else while Black, but we never talk about leading while white. And I think it's time we talk about it. Because a leader, a good leader, and more importantly, a beautiful leader, leads not from a place of their own implicit bias or fear or discrimination or even rage. They lead from a place that we call conscious competence. And we spend too much time focusing on implicit bias and not enough time focusing on what it means to be able to step into a place of intentionality, of conscious competence, when we find ourselves encountering being leaders, doing what our jobs enforce us to do. So what happened yet again is that a person leading while white, in these cases, both of the police officers, locked and loaded on their own implicit bias, made them explicit in terms of their behaviors, put those implicit biases behind a gun, and you know how the story ends. But it could have gone a different way, because when we lead while white from a place of conscious competence, we replace our implicit bias with the right set of questions. We challenge our assumptions because we recognize that negative, unchallenged assumptions can result in death or harm, undue harm, or I didn't mean to do that. Oops, my bad. I pulled the trigger of the wrong gun, the taser instead of the gun. And then we live in a society that structurally makes that okay, because what are we protecting? Not the impact of that leader's behavior, right? But the innocence of that leader's behavior. See, we have a law, or we had a law, I don't even know if it's still a law anymore, that said around discrimination against women that you were held responsible not for your intent, right? But for the impact of your behavior in terms of creating a safe space for women in the workplace and in every other corner of our society. But that law doesn't apply in the same way around issues of race. It also doesn't apply in the relationship between white men with guns and people who don't have guns. The only difference is that there is a different level of conscious competence that those police officers engage, right, when they're dealing with someone who is not white, than they do when they are dealing with someone who is. And we need to unpack that. So if you want to be leading while white, then you have to move from unconscious incompetence, which is bliss, it's ignorance, it's a wonderful place to be, through to conscious incompetence, which means, oh my God, I might need to actually do something different here because I'm experiencing my own implicit bias in this situation, and that doesn't make them fact, to a place of conscious competence where it says, what are the skills that I've learned as a professional or as a leader or as a person designed to protect and serve all communities in my society that will help me de-escalate this situation and get the information and outcome that I want without having to have it result in another senseless death. That's called leading while white. It's the same impact, whether it translates into recruiting or hiring or lack of promotion. It's just as deadly at the end of the day. Just wanted to say that. So what are you going to do this week to lead with conscious competence? Think about it. Let me know. Have a great week.